Hello, it's Dr. Pam here. Today we are going to talk about stress in both children and adults. And this is in honor of, let me get it right, Stress Awareness Day. So yesterday, tomorrow is actually Stress Awareness Day. So we're going to talk tonight about stress. And so for those of you who may not know who I am Dr. Pam Middleton, your virtual holistic physician. Through my books, programs, and services, I help families achieve and maintain health and wellness through inside-out healing. Now, stress, we can see stress in both children and adults. So at first I'm going to talk about adult stress because that's probably what most people are familiar with. So there are three main reasons for stress in today's society. Number one is money, okay? Number two is dealing with work. Work can be a major issue for a lot of people, and I would actually say that the work is one of the biggest causes of stress that we see today. And then the third cause of stress is poor health. Now, so money. Generally, people are stressed out because they don't have enough of it, okay? And as far as how to deal with that type of stress is just to do whatever you need to do to improve your financial situation. So if it's a case of not having enough month at the end of your money, maybe looking at getting a part-time job, something else, decreasing your expenses, and just instead of just being stressed about it, try to find a solution to deal with it. And a lot of times that'll take some of your stress away, just, using your energy, directing your energy toward finding some type of solution. Okay, so now work. Like I said, this is a biggie, and it can come from a number of different things. If you're stressed out because you have, say, a horrible boss, do what you can do. If it's something where you've got to have this money, unless we're going to roll into the other category of you're not going to quit your job unless you're going to be having the stress over not having money, right? But if it's something that you really have no control over, then minimize the time. So if it's like you have a boss who is just overbearing, just try to spend the least amount of time dealing with your boss. And if there are things that you know that your boss wants you to do, just go on and get those things done so that your boss, won't really be on your case. Now, it's not always as easy as that. I understand that. And with work, there can be other stresses. I think one of the biggest stresses at work is just the amount of work that people are doing, because we're in an age now where companies a lot of times start to downsize, and so the employees who are left are now doing more work. So there may have been 5 people in your department, and maybe they downsized to 3, but there's still the same amount of work going on. So now 3 of you guys are doing the work that 5 people used to do, and of course that is going to be stressful. So the other way of dealing with that type of stress is finding outlets, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, just the outlets, what you can do to try to alleviate stress. And then, of course, poor health is going to be stressful also, because when you don't have good health, it's just a very bad situation all around. And what I can say about that is if you're currently in good health, you want to, or fair health, you want to do whatever you can to keep yourself at the current level of health or improve your health. And, and it's based on a lot of things that I've talked about before, just taking care of your body from the inside out, eating the right foods and, the things that we're going to talk about with stress, because stress itself can lead to illness, okay? Because stress will lead to a lot of different things, So as far as the health is concerned, if you aren't in poor health, you want to do everything you can to not get there, okay? And then, and if you are in poor health, follow your doctor's instructions. If you're supposed to be on medication, take your medication. A lot of people have chronic health issues that require daily medications. So it's just not acceptable to just not take your meds. It's not acceptable to need daily medication and then you just don't take it for like months at a time. I'm not talking you missed a day or two. I'm talking months. So you don't want to do that. Now we're going to switch a little bit to the children. So with children, of course, they can have a lot of stress too. The stress in children is generally associated with social situations and with family. So a lot of stress in children comes about because of what's going on in the family. And some of the stresses that we just talked about for the adults, it can actually translate to your child. So if your family is struggling financially and there's a lot of stress in the household about money, children will pick up on that and they can become stressed about it. If you're stressed at work and you're coming home and you're kind of taking it out on everybody at home, obviously your children are going to be affected. And then, of course, if you are, someone in your household is in poor health, and their children there, that too can affect the children because they see, what's going on with the person who is in poor health. Now, the other thing is the social situations. And you've heard me talk about bullying. There are a lot of things that children are dealing with now that that previous generations did not deal with. I mean, think about it. Just the stress of going to school and not knowing if somebody's going to come and shoot up your school. I mean, that was something that I know when I was growing up, that wasn't even an issue. That wasn't even a thought, in my mind when I went to school. And so there's a lot that kids are dealing with. If you happen to live in a not so great neighborhood, your child may be stressed just trying to get to and from school, without something happening to them. And anything else, that may be going on with them at school from a social standpoint. And depending on the age of children, there are certain times, like in teenage years, everything just seems to be magnified. So, it can be very stressful to not be accepted by the popular kids, or, that somebody is bullying you. There are just a lot of things that will stress, young people out, children and teenagers. So once again, as parents, you want to talk to your children and you want to kind of find out where they are emotionally, so that you can pick up on these things early on, because I'm seeing very young kids who are dealing with stress, and it is already starting to affect their health at a very young age. So what can you do? Some of the outside things that you can do to deal with stress, first of all, is, try to distance yourself from the stressful situation, if at all possible. If it's a person who stresses you out, try to get away from that person. If your job is stressing you out, try to spend not so many hours there. I mean, obviously you have to spend the required amount of time at your job, but, if you're spending extra time that you really don't have to spend, because maybe you can just become more productive during the day. So instead of spending 10 hours at work, you can actually just spend 8 hours. And I know that that's not always possible because sometimes you have to work longer. But you just want to try to minimize the amount of time that you're dealing with whatever your stressful situation is. And you want to have outlets for your stress. And I've talked about this before. You want to find something that you can do that's going to alleviate your stress. Like for me, I love the water. The water is a stress releaser for me. So when I'm in a location where I can go to the ocean or a lake or whatever, if I can go around a body of water, that's a big stress reliever for me. So it's something that, like when I was living in California and I was living a very stressful, lifestyle with running a practice and doing a lot of other things, I made it a point to go to the ocean once a week. That was my stress reliever, was going to the ocean. Other things, obviously, you can get like massages. Massages can be good for stress relief. And some people just get stress relief from talking to people, talking to their friends. Meditation is very good. Prayer is very good. So there are a variety of stress relieving activities that you can that you can rather partake in. So find that thing that works for you and incorporate that into your life, because we're all leading stressful lives. So we're all stressed in some way. No matter how great your life may be, you are probably dealing with some stress in your life. So find ways to relieve your stress. A lot of people exercise to relieve stress. So pick the thing that makes you feel good and you do that to try to keep your stress levels as low as possible. Same thing for your children. Find something that your children like to do that will decrease their stress, and make sure that they can do that regularly so that their stress levels won't be too high. Okay? So with that, I'm going to bid you farewell, and I hope that you will have a stress-free rest of this Wellness Wednesday. So I am Dr. Pam Middleton, your virtual holistic physician. Through my books, programs, and services, I help families achieve and maintain health and wellness through inside-out healing. And I am now transferring all of my Facebook Lives over to my YouTube page. So if you have friends that you want to share some of my Facebook Lives with and they are not on Facebook, they can go to my YouTube channel, and I am going to post the link, right here. And I don't know if it's below. It's going to be posted. I'm going to post it right after I finish this video, and you will have the post to you will have the link to my YouTube channel. So please do go to the YouTube channel so that you can get more information and share it with your friends, because sharing is caring. Okay, I will see you guys next week for the next episode of Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Pam. Enjoy the rest of your stress-free evening. Bye-bye.